Well, I will do the introduction of myself and the talk while we are trying to solve this, I think, because it's better. So I'm José Miguel Esparza. I'm from Spain, from Pamplona. Pamplona is a small city in Spain, in the north of Spain. It's not like that's famous because of the run of the bulls. Maybe that's okay. No?
No,
it was.
No, but it wasn't connected at the point that it was okay.
Okay. Well, that's famous because of the run of the bulls. It's not like the typical city in Spain, like sun and beach. It's really in the north, and it's really rainy. So it's shitty weather, like here. And well, it's true or not. And because of that, I thought, okay, I'm going to move to the Netherlands. And then I have now shitty weather and shitty food. But I work in a really fun company that is called Fox IT. I work as a lead threat analyst there, and we are daily dealing with exploit kits and analysis of malware, botnets. We are tracking botnets, trying to gather in the intelligence from the people behind the botnets, and that's it. After work, I continue doing stuff at home. That's, I guess, out of you. I spend some time in these things, PDF analysis, PDF tools. Also, I made something related to NFC security for credit cards. More malware, so I have a blog talking about malware also. So that's it. I've also recently joined the Honeynet project because I don't have enough things to do, so I joined them again. And that's why also my site is called Eternal To Do, because I have always a lot of things to do. Okay. So this journey is going to be really practical. So I will start talking about exploit kits. After that, I will move to some basics about PDF. About exploit kits is also like some introduction, because it's needed in order to do the practical part. Probably a lot of the practical thing is you have to have some knowledge about JavaScript and all of that, and JavaScript obfuscation, but I will show some tips to do this. Okay. This was all the introduction, the funny pictures of Pamplona. Maybe you have seen this before, the bulls. Because I'm a bit late, so I will go. It's called Mordor. There were some jokes last year about Pamplona and being Mordor because of the shitty weather. That's down, and that's what I was explaining. So first exploit kits, then PDF basics. I will introduce PDF. I will give some tips about how to analyze PDFs, but it's going to be really practical. I have like 11 examples to try. I will do it with you together. You need the USB sticks. The PDF is already in the package. By the way, the password is infected. It's in the file name, but just in case. And you need Pi V8. That's to emulate the JavaScript code. That will be really. Thank you very much. Really nice if you have that, and also if you have libemu installed. There are two scripts that used to work, but to install Pi V8 and Pi libemu, and probably in some distributions like thank you, like Kali or something like that, or Remnux, probably there will be already there. Okay. So just to have an idea, how many of you have analyzed any exploit kit or know a bit what an exploit kit is? Just raise your hand. Up the USB. You want? Yeah, sure. Up. Okay. I will put one here just in case someone want it. Okay, so for me, in my opinion, the exploit kits are the best way to infect a computer because you just visit a page, or maybe you don't know because there is a redirection, an iframe, and you end up there. And then you have like the freshest exploits, or maybe not the freshest, but at least the most effective exploits. And then you just got infected. The normal amount of exploits are like 6 or 7, but sometimes some exploit kits has like just 3 and maybe just Java exploits, or another one has a lot of them. So this was some stats some time ago about the hits in an exploit pack. The most hit vulnerability was Java, one Java vulnerability, but there is also PDF exploits there. And because of that, I created this talk and this workshop. So this is what I was talking before, like the infection steps with an exploit kit. So you receive an email with a link, or maybe the HTML page is already embedded there, and there is an iframe. That is, then you will get redirected to this exploit kit. Maybe you have several levels of redirection, and then there is like a plugin that is going to check which browser plugins you have activated, like Java, Adobe Reader, Flash, etc. And depending on these results, you will get an exploit or another. Normally, it's quite successful. There are a lot of exploit kits nowadays, and also every month one is dead and another is born. So it's really dynamic. This guy in Chaos Security, Daryl, is maintaining this nice picture about the most wanted exploit kits. Nowadays we are seeing a lot of nuclear, magnitude, and also rig, angler, but you can maybe memorize some of these, but in 2 months probably there will be some new ones. So it's really dynamic. It's not just the exploit kit, because you can have an exploit kit. Maybe you buy an exploit kit, but you can also say, okay, I want to distribute this binary in Germany, for example, or in the Netherlands. So I buy the service from another company, an affiliate program. So you give the sample. Some of them even they encrypt it, and they try to not be detected by the antivirus, and then they start distributing it. And they use normally a TDS system, a traffic distribution system. So they can say, if the malware, for example, is a banking malware targeting German banks, then you want just traffic from Germany, right? So you can just say to this affiliate program, okay, I want traffic from Germany. And then you will get traffic to your exploit kit, distributing your binary. So that's quite easy. So these 2 things together are really powerful. The bad thing is that they are trying to avoid us to analyze the exploit kits. And they put some barriers, some filters to try to avoid this and to make it more difficult. They are trying to, well, they filter by user agent. For example, if you are trying to get Java exploit, you have to put a Java user agent. If not, you won't have that exploit. Also, they are blocking IPs. If they know that Fox IT, for example, it's always analyzing with a specific IP, or any other research company, security company, McAfee, antivirus, etc. They put some rules to try to avoid that and to block this traffic, so they cannot do any request. They also can put some one-time URLs. So maybe you received that in your email, you visited once, and maybe you missed something, or you want to download all the exploits, and because it was a unique URL, you cannot visit again the landing page. So it's just once. so get infected, and you cannot visit the exploit kit anymore. You have also these country filters, maybe in the exploit kit too, but together with the TDS, with the traffic distribution system. And recently, they are adding this VM detection. We'll show you. I think I can do. I was trying with this yesterday. It's quite. So, what it does, let me check. You see here, VirtualBox guest, VirtualBox mouse, blah, blah, blah. So they are detecting, I will show you later in more practical, but they are detecting existent files in the system. Existent files in the system, yeah. So for example, to detect antivirus, but also to detect virtual machines. So nights even, that's normal for malware, but for exploit kits, they started like some months ago. And that's more annoying for us, of course. This was discovered by Charlie Hurler, Caffeine. Okay, so how can we analyze these exploit kits? So we can use the typical automatic tools, the online services like WebAware or GHunpack, for example. And you can use also some low interaction honey client like Thug. That is really a nice tool. They also add in PDF to manage some PDF support, to manage some PDF files there. So you visit an exploit kit, and then they try to grab all these files, and also if they find a PDF exploit, they use PDF to give you like a summary of that. So that's good, but maybe it's good when you already know how to do it. So it's in the basic, if you know how to do that, then you can do some automatic things with Thug, for example, and maybe also writing your own code to do it more extensive, more logging extensive. You can always run the exploit kit URL in an Internet Explorer, for example, inside a virtual machine, but you will get infected. I normally do that when I want to go fast. And you will get a payload normally, but you have the executable, but you have no idea which vulnerability was triggered. Also, you don't know exactly which other vulnerabilities there are in the exploit kit, because you normally get one or two, but not all of them, because it depends on your plugins, of course, also. So what I do normally, if I have time, I want to play a bit, is just taking a look at the landing page of the exploit kit, and then normally it's obfuscated JavaScript. Well, before you have some redirections, but then you end up in an obfuscated JavaScript page, and then normally they used to have these eval functions to do different stages of the JavaScript code. So you have at this point you have like two options. You can hook the eval function, I will show you later. Or depending on the JavaScript engine that you are using, you can just, for example, replace the eval function with a print. Okay, that's useful, for example, with Rhino, Spider Monkey. And once you have the last page, then you can start looking for the exploits and then download the exploits. So, well, this is okay. Yeah, normally you end up in the landing page, but you have HTML code that you cannot run in a JavaScript engine. So the first thing that you have to do maybe is just get all the code from the script elements, just the JavaScript code, and then try to look at that, understand what it's doing, beautify the code because it's better for you, and then start working, running in the JavaScript engine. If you see errors, then you modify something and then you continue. It's like trial error. Okay, so let's play a bit. Mm. Can you see at the end? Yep. Okay. So we have here. This was, for example, a URL that I received via email. I receive a lot of emails with malware. I don't know exactly why. I'm in a like VIP mailing list or something like that. I receive a lot. So what I do is just, for example, do a curl with this URL, and using, of course, a Windows user agent, because if not, probably I won't get anything. And in this case, for example, you will have this in the exploit kits folder of the package, so you can do the same as I am doing. Oh. Yeah, it's infected. I was saying that before, but maybe also it's in the file name, just in case. So. Oh, this. So this is the typical page. You see this, please wait a moment, you will be forwarded, and then you, in the background, you get redirected to the exploit kit. So this is the exploit kit, the other page. So what you can see here, it's nothing really. Yep, you cannot see too much because it's all with HTML code. Also, even you have here a Java exploit, and then you have here all the obfuscated code. So this is just an example. So what I do normally is when I have this page, I just copy this to another thing, and then I start working with this, like modifying this. The first thing that I do is just remove all the HTML garbage. So it will be just going to the script. So I remove all. I go to the last line. I remove these two. And now I don't have any HTML code. So what I can do is just here. I can use this is Rhino Spider Monkey. This is in all the distributions, I think. So it's really harmful. So I do like this, and I have. Oh, okay. So I forgot to. Yeah. So I'm removing these two. So now it says it's like with exploit kits, analyzing exploit kits, you have to be used to see errors, to see JavaScript code and know what it is really. So this is saying, okay, window is not defined. So let's take a look. What's window? Whoop, window. So here, I will switch for a while to this. So here you can see a condition. If window document, if Z, then this. Also you have here another if window document. So this is a check to know that the JavaScript is running in a browser. So this will check for the window document property of the browser, of the DOM. So because we are not in a browser, we can just remove this check. It's just for them to try to difficult the analysis. So we will remove this. Then it won't complain about this, but it will complain about other things. Oh, it's not complaining. That's weird. Okay. It should complain a bit, at least about this. Maybe I'm modifying. Okay, anyway. So we have this, and we can do it a bit more readable with pipdf-i. You can just beautify the code. In this case, you can see something, but it's not really. Beauty. Okay, so this is how it looks. If you use Kate, for example, it is adding new lines, for example, here, automatically. So sometimes maybe you can get a bit mad about this, because if you take a look with V, it is just one line. So be careful with this, because sometimes you can have some errors about this. So this, for example, the document create element, it's another thing that it's really just for browsers. In fact, it says, I'm going to create element span, and then if I'm having any exception, I will put Z to false. And here we have if Z, then E of S. E is eval, we can see here. So we have already found the eval function. So it's only executing what Z is true. So that's another check. Like this. And it replaced with print. And it should work. Okay. So you have here already the second stage of the JavaScript. You can save it. So that's replacing the eval function with print. Now we can use the scripts here. Display kits scripts. Okay, I think. It's ambiguous. Yeah. Okay. So here. So this is a script using, instead of the SpiderMonkey engine, I'm using PyV8. What I'm doing here is using a global context, and in this global context I have a function called eval override. And here, overriding the eval function, the normal eval function, with my own function. So the only thing that I'm doing here is just getting the code that is being evaluated, and I store it in a variable. Add this variable, later on I use it to print it on the screen. So I'm going to try this one also, just to show the two things. Of course, I think I have all here. Yep. So I can do scripts. Yeah. Now we want to continue executing this with eval if we want to hook the function. So we remove again the replacement with print. Store this. and I want to execute my modified thing. It's okay here. So these are the two ways that I use normally to have the code, to have the second stage of the code. So hooking the val function and replacing with just print, depending on the JavaScript engine. You will have new errors because this, for example, includes the Windows thing, so that's normal. So what we can do with the second stage is just beautify this again with JS beautify in PDF. And this was second stage. So in 30, we will see here. So it used to be like this, like just one line, and we have it was beauty, right? But okay, let me second beauty, and it's so I'm working in different directories, so I'm getting a bit crazy. Okay. Oh, the file does, yeah, because of the directories, right? So I do the same. What? Should be here. So now it's quite nicer. It's much better. We put it the font bigger. So normally you get as I was saying, plugin detection. That's normally common for all the exploits, and even they can share this code. So this is not really related to the split kit, but just a plugin. So they are executing the plugin detect, getting the version, and then this is the plugin detect. If we go to till the end, when the detection is done, we will execute this. And here we have all the things to get the version, and depending on the version, you see if it's 7, the third digit is less than 9, then I will push this exploit, or if not, I will push this one. If I have a high-file overreader, I will push this exploit or this, and the exploits are here. So every function, you can see J1 is Java, J2 is Java, PDF, and F is Flash, and even we have here the Shellcode. So that's really nice. So we can use also these scripts that I have here. I'm going to copy. Okay. So I have other scripts just to make it a bit more easy. So it's really simple scripts. The get script content is instead of removing all the garbage and removing the script element and all of that, I'm just using a regular expression to get the content between the script elements. That's really, maybe sometimes it's not working, so you can tweak it or whatever. So you can use, for example, that with the landing page, with this, with Python scripts, get script content, and then the landing page. And you will get just the JavaScript code. But I'm not going to do it. That's okay, okay? So that's another way, and that's faster, because if you are analyzing this every day, you need some tools and some scripts. So also the other script is just for this concrete exploit kit, you can use these functions, these regular expressions. So it was always containing Java exploits, PDF, so you can just get the path from them, and then you can automate it with adding the domain and then download all the exploits. So it will work like ouch. This if we execute with the second beauty, ouch. Payload functions. Because come on. I think KK, but maybe in the other one, right? Sorry. It should have been started just with one directory, because it's like so you can see here the paths for the exploits. Also, you will have sometimes these like functions, but you can use, if you take a look in the code, the KK. By the way, it's the typical, it's caca in Spanish, that shit, and it's I don't know, I always do this. And you have this function here, so you can just copy the function that you want to another JavaScript file, like in this case, put the link that it's with, depending on this function, and just execute the JavaScript thing. So you can use scripts get link, and it's like that. This was really simple. So we can go also to a more difficult one. That's the trick exploit kit, and I think I got this like 1 or 2 months ago from this page. I don't know if you know this page, malware traffic analysis. This guy is tracking these exploit kits, and he's also adding the pickup there. So it's really nice to analyze exploit kits. So you can get the pickup, you can extract the landing page and start analyzing it. So in this case, for example, you have here a pickup, the rig directory. I don't know if it's going to show here or where. Yes. And if we filter a bit, okay, you have to take a look at this. What's the? I know that this is not. I suppose there is a better tool, but I don't know it. So this will be the one. You have to take a look at all this and say, okay, this is the landing page or not. Or so if you go. So you can extract this easily, like doing export selected packet bytes, and you will get what we have in this directory, the rig HTML txt. So this looks like this, with a lot of script elements, and in this case, you can find a lot of them. So for this, for example, what is that? Well, a lot of script elements. So for this, you can use again the same script, like get script content, this, and yes, code. So you have here 30 just JavaScript code. And again, you beautify the code. You can use the PDF command, or you can use another beautify that you can have. I know that there are standalone tools for beautifying, so yes, code, and then beauty. So and this looks like much better than the other one. I will put the font. So you can see here what I was mentioning before. Here you can see some paths in the landing page, drivers, blah blah blah. What it's doing here is executing this function, and this function, it's loading an XML with the parameter using like resources, using these paths as a resource for the in theory XML. So this is a trick to know if the file exists in the system from JavaScript. So if it exists, some of them exist, it will put ABC to true. And if it's not true, box will be a string. So if the exploit kit is not detecting anything, then box will be equal to a string. And then we can search here box that is used later on here. So if it's something is detected, then you don't have anything. It won't be executed. So here it's function of this else is adding content to a variable, and we have here a lot of this, and in different sections. So this is for each block of these instructions, there is an exploit. So what we're going to do is, again, copy this, like beauty mode. And I'm going to focus just in one exploit. This is quite, whoop. So here, I can remove all this, and I think I have removed all the things related to the, okay, so I will save it. And we're going to execute again with, for example, JavaScript, the Rhino, Spider Monkey. And we have the first error, active X object. So this is related to the loading of the XML to check if the paths exist. So because these are just conditions to difficult our job, we are going to just remove all this, this, This I don't know if we are going to use it, so I will keep it. Execute again. And again, our friend document is not defined. We can look for here. So we're going to take a look at what is doing this script. Whoop. So here we have this function, and the only thing that is doing is adding this to the variable ty6. So at the end of all these instructions, we'll have here all the content, and probably it will do something with that. So here it's doing something with this string, and it's doing something and put this in this variable. What is this? This is document, and this is create element. So it's creating an element of this, and x is script. So it's creating just a script element in the page. Okay, we don't have a browser, so we can remove again all these things. Like this, even this. And what we can do is just create a new variable, and not here, sorry. So this is, as you can see, this is splitting our content, and this is T63. So it's getting out all these T63 bytes here and getting the content. So what I can do is just, what is the, sorry. So this is not an script element anymore. This is just a empty string. And here I'm going to just remove this also. So I'm adding what it is doing. I'm adding the content to this variable. And instead to do append child, I will do print here. So it's just removing all the part depending on the browser JavaScript engine. So this should work, I think. Okay, this is not defined. So this is a string, and this was, maybe I have removed too much. Yeah, apparently. Okay, this is needed. So as you can see, it's just trial error. Are you able to follow a bit this with the examples, and maybe I go too fast? So this should work now, yes. So we have again the second stage. So again, just one line. So again, we can use pipdf. What we can do also is, if we are doing this a lot, we can create just like a batch command for pipdf to beautify always a file called, for example, if we copy this to ugly, and then we create a command call it this, and here we do beautify file ugly txt, and I'm going to convert it in ugly beauty. So I can store this command and do like pipdf -s command, and then the ugly. Yes, it's because it's not a PDF file, but we can editor this with the -f, and in theory we should have here. That's better. Not too much, because this code is including this variable. It's again, no, not this one, but here, the text is including a new function. So what we can do is just a function that it's appended here. So we can just remove these things and do like this. And we can beautify again. So we can copy this to ugly again. I know I'm messing things here. Should work. If I do like this. Okay, that's much better. So this is the code of the exploit, of one of the exploits. You can see this is, in this case, it's a bit more difficult because it's not a PDF exploit or a Java exploit. This is an Internet Explorer exploit. If you are somehow familiar with some after-use, free after-use vulnerabilities and some things like this, or exploiting in browsers, you can maybe recognize this thing, that is to create objects of a specific size. So at least we know that it's an Internet Explorer vulnerability, and then you can just take a look at the code to see any specific or any really characteristic string. So in this case, this dash style is really interesting, and you have it all here. So it's doing something with this. And if you don't know anything, you can always search Google dash style vulnerability, and then there's a VUPN advisory already about this, and a really detailed post about this. Okay, so we will have here an Internet Explorer vulnerability exploit. So until now, so this thing with the last exploit kit, I think maybe it was a bit more difficult than the first one, but I think it was just the same thing. Just remove garbage, try an error with JavaScript, and change things, and going on. So I think that's all the thing related to the exploit kits. Before maybe moving on, do you have any question about this, about exploit kits analyzing so far? So because the people is already moving, I'm going to, so we have 15 minutes. We can do like 10 minutes break and then continue, just to wake up a bit of my boring talking. So in 10 minutes, at like, it's a bit before that 10, I know, that, but because we are going to change to another thing, I think it's better just to do the break now, if you agree. So it's just in 10 minutes, like, we're here again.